Hey, welcome to this video on powers with the same base rules. So we will be using very simple examples once again, but those examples are very powerful. So recall, what is the definition of 3 to the power of 5? So this is equal to 3 times 3 times 3 repeated 5 times, and yes, the answer is 243. You can easily verify that. However, this is not our goal here. We know that when you multiply numbers, there is a rule that allows you to group them any way you want. So 2 3's in one group, 3 3's in another group. And using the definition of exponent, 3 to exponent 2, that's one power expression, and 3 to exponent 3 is another power expression. So what that leads us is that exponent 5 on the left hand side now is expressed as a sum of 2 and 3. I hope this makes sense. So when you compare the left hand side and the right hand side, the value on both sides is represented by the same number, 243. But the exponents are split, so 5 is expressed as a sum of 2 and 3. This leads us to a general statement saying that when you multiply two powers with the same base, you just simply add exponents. So now let's take a look at this example where we work with division. 3 to the power of 5 divided by 3 to the power of 2. So when you use the exponent rule, this is a product of 3 times 3 times 3 repeated 5 times divided by 3 times 3, and then you simplify. You have two factors that are identical, you cut them from top and the bottom, so you're left with just 3 times 3 times 3, which is equal to 3 cubed. Yes, this is equal to 27. We know that. But what is the significance of that exercise? That the difference between exponent 5 and 2 gives you 3. So when you look at the exponents, on the left-hand side, when you divide and the base is the same, 5 minus 2 gave you 3. So this is the general rule. When dividing powers with the same base, the rule says find the difference between exponents and keep the same base. And now, a case where you have identical values in this rational expression, 3 cubed divided by 3 cubed. Intuitively, you know that this is the same quantity divided by itself. The result should be 1. So, however, using the rules of exponent, when dividing powers with the same base, you find the difference between exponents. So 3 to the power of 0 is the result. On the other side, when I mentioned when you do divide two identical quantities, the result is a 1. So this implies the following, that 3 to exponent 0 must be 1. And based on that example, we generalize that for any base to exponent 0, the answer is 1, with the exception that that base cannot be equal to 0. And the last example here we will use is when you divide two values and the exponent on top is less than the exponent at the bottom. However, the rule for that division would be the same. You find the difference. 3 to exponent 3 minus 5. 3 minus 5 is equal to negative 2, so the exponent is equal to negative 2. But we don't know what that is unless we approach this question from a slightly different perspective. So 3 cubed and 3 to the power of 5, when you expand, you will see that you have 3 times 3 times 3, repeated 3 times, and the bottom is a product of 3 times 3, 5 times. Reduce that expression and you have 1 over 3 squared. So this implies that 3 to negative 2 must be equivalent to 1 over 3 to the power of 2. So general statement, negative exponent rule says that find the reciprocal of the given base and convert negative exponent to positive value. And recall from the previous video we talked about a product of a base that can be factored or split into 2 factors, a and b. Now we have a difference, a division, a divided by b to 1 exponent n. By analogy, you would expect that this exponent n is distributed to top portion and to the bottom portion. So just think of fractions. 3 over 2 to the power of 2 would be 3 over 2 times 3 over 2. And consider a case where the base is a rational expression to a negative exponent. So when you find the reciprocal, please note a over b reciprocal is just b over a. You flip them around and exponent now must be positive. I hope this video served you and you've learned how to apply the rules, and I see you next time. Thanks for watching.